The first time my encrypted workstation glitched out, I blamed the weather. The second time, I figured it was a neighbor's new security camera system or a faulty power surge. But the third time, when a giant red alert flashed across my screen reading security breach, unauthorized signal intrusion, I knew something serious was going down. What I didn't expect was to walk onto my roof and find a massive Wi-Fi tower literally welded into my shingles. The thing was blinking like it belonged to NASA, with fresh welding marks and wires jammed through my attic vent like someone was in a hurry. And that someone turned out to be the HOA president, Beverly Harper. What she didn't know, she had just hijacked a federal cyber intelligence system, and the roof she used belonged to someone who built those very intrusion detection protocols. My name's Alex Monroe. On paper, I'm a freelance network engineer who spends too much time in pajama pants and drinks coffee like it's a religion. But in reality, I'm a senior cybersecurity specialist operating under deep civilian cover. I'm stationed with a division of the NSA tasked with monitoring domestic cyber threats that get too close to sensitive networks. My home, nestled in a quiet Colorado suburb, was supposed to be a low-profile hub for monitoring national cyber integrity. Instead, it became a crime scene. It started a week ago, during my usual 3 p.m. system audit. The secure data stream dropped mid-transfer. My systems are redundant by design fail-safes, backups, auto-correcting protocols. It wasn't supposed to be possible. I ran diagnostics. The interference didn't go away. Spectrum analysis showed a powerful new signal bleeding directly into my protected subfrequency 1 that shouldn't even be accessible to consumer tech. The next morning, I climbed up expecting to adjust my satellite dish. What I found was a thick steel pole bolted into my roof, standing tall with an industrial-grade antenna strapped to the top. It had no markings, no permits, just a mess of wires spliced into my home's power line. Less than an hour later, Beverly showed up. Polo shirt with the HOA logo, clipboard, that rehearsed fake smile. Good afternoon. Alex, you might have noticed the new community signal tower we installed. It's part of our initiative to provide faster Wi-Fi to everyone in the neighborhood. Your house has excellent elevation and sightlines, so we chose it as our primary node. She said it like she was doing me a favor. You installed equipment on my private residence without permission. I said flatly. She waved it off like I was being dramatic. It's just Wi-Fi. Sweetie, it's not like it's hurting anything. Besides, the board approved it. If you have a concern, bring it up at the next meeting. Then she warned me not to touch it. Said it was sensitive and critical to community access. And she walked off like she owned the street. What she didn't realize was that the tower she bolted to my house wasn't just broadcasting, it was intercepting. Back in my office, I activated the secure console hidden behind a bookshelf. Within minutes, I traced the network path. The tower was logging all neighborhood internet traffic and routing it through unsecured ports, ones that were actively uploading metadata to a cloud account owned by someone named Travis Harper, Beverly's nephew, a self-proclaimed tech entrepreneur who'd once written a blog post about community surveillance disguised as network optimization. They had created a surveillance system under the guise of a free HOA Wi-Fi initiative without permits, without consent, and worst of all, right through my federally shielded infrastructure. I dug deeper. The tower wasn't just broadcasting, it was scanning. A live script was probing devices on the network, looking for vulnerabilities. Spyware had been embedded. I needed undeniable proof, so I baited them. I created 2 fake files, one labeled NSA Drone Deployment Schedule, the other Federal Payroll Audit 2025. I planted them in a mirror drive designed to look like a real network asset. Within hours, both files were opened. The logs didn't lie. IP addresses traced to Beverly's house. VPN trails led straight to Travis's guest room setup. Game over. But it didn't stop there. They accessed the honeypot again that night, this time trying to stay stealthy. They read the files without downloading them, poked around like professionals. But every move they made was recorded and reported through NSA firewalls. Their digital fingerprints were all over it. So I set the trap tighter. I mirrored Travis's entire server. Folder after folder labeled by house numbers, bank credentials, screen captures, even audio from smart home devices. This wasn't just a breach, it was a civil rights violation. Then came the final piece. I spoofed Beverly's email using header data and captured her recent messages. What I found made my blood boil. She was bragging to other HOA presidents online, calling it a data-backed discipline model. She mentioned plans to sell anonymized browsing metadata to advertisers to fund community events. She even sent demographic tracking data to a local realtor how long visitors lingered at open houses, which streets got more foot traffic. She'd monetized surveillance and didn't even try to hide it. I set up a fake resident appointment at the clubhouse using a local task runner. Wired him with audio. When he asked about the network, Beverly proudly explained the system, name-dropped Travis, and joked about tracking guests in real time. When asked if homeowners could opt out, she laughed and said, "Only people with something to hide care about that." The recording was the final nail. I submitted the full dossier to my NSA handler, access logs, mirrored files, video evidence, and the audio confession. Within 12 hours, a silent warrant was approved. Black SUVs with 0 markings rolled into the neighborhood at midnight. They moved like shadows. Karen's house, Travis's guest room, the HOA office all raided. Devices were bagged. Servers were seized. Data was preserved. Even the routers and backup drives hidden in filing cabinets were removed. And the tower? Disconnected remotely and yanked off my roof before sunrise. By morning, the entire neighborhood knew something was up. Beverly's dog walk didn't happen. The tower was gone. Her clipboard tour? Canceled. Whispers turned into phone calls. By noon, she had resigned from the HOA, citing personal health concerns. Travis's car vanished overnight. At the emergency town hall that weekend, I told the neighborhood just enough to wake them up. I didn't mention the NSA or federal indictments. I just explained the scope of the surveillance. People cried. One woman said she used that network to video chat with her grandkid and now felt violated. That was all it took. The entire board stepped down that night. Karen's name banned from any future role. The bylaws? Rewritten from scratch. I declined their invitation to run security. I gave them a guide, anonymously, and left it at that. Weeks passed. The gossip faded. My roof was fixed. A vegetable garden now grows where the tower once stood. But I still monitor signals. Quietly. Because for every Beverly and Travis, there's another tower being built somewhere else. And I'll be ready.